Hey folks, welcome to another season of Play Branson, where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. My name's Chris Meyer. I'm going to be your host for today. And man, we just want to say welcome to 2022. We took a couple months off. Of course, the entertainers like to take a couple months off and recalibrate their shows. And so we're back for another season. And so we're so thankful that you've supported us over all the years. And we look forward to bringing you the stories of Branson entertainers that you can't really get anywhere else. Now, today's show, we have Jason Hughes with the Hughes Music Show, the Hughes Brothers Country Show, the Hughes Brothers Christmas Show, and he is the director and also one of the choreographers over there. And so it's been a long time since, it's been about over 4 years since he's been on the show. So we're glad to have him back on the show today. And one of the things I do want to let our locals know about, and a lot of times we're given vacation tips, but we also know that locals watch as well. But one of the things I want to comment on is that, and I've pitched this in the past, but I want to let you know about the Dining Passport. This is a new one for 2022. If you like to save money on your dining here in the Branson area, you want to check this out. It's the Dining Passport. You can save up to $850. There's 46 food and drink coupons in here, and there's 11 bonus date night coupons where you can go to shows or attractions at incredible savings. So you can go to the diningpassport.com and purchase it online, or you can go to the bransonmissouri.com Welcome Center and buy them there. This is a great way to stretch your dollar further, and this is really geared to locals. It does help area charities, so it helps K-Life and Project Graduation, so be sure to check this book out. And we're going to be back in just a second with more on Play Branson, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to Play Branson. Today on the show, we have Jason Hughes. Welcome back.
Woohoo! Jazz hands.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Like in 2017, you were number 7 on the show.
Wow.
So, and now we're up to 224 episodes.
It doesn't seem that long ago.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Glad to be back.
So you've had kids since then?
Yes.
Since 17.
17. I think I've had two. More since
Yeah.
then. Is that right?
So you're part of the Hughes family, and there may be somebody watching this show that they don't know anything about the Hughes family, the Hughes brothers, anything like that. And we always go back and talk history.
Yeah.
And so tell people about how you got to Branson, what led up to that, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Well, Branson was, to begin with, we were singing together as brothers. We're from Utah originally. Mm-hmm. And people were telling us all the time, you guys should go to Branson. We're like, what's Branson? I don't know what that is. And then the Osmonds moved to Branson mm-hmm. and started a show, and they got a lot of press in Utah naturally. And then we started to hear more and know more about what Branson was all about. And people would continue to say, you guys should be in Branson. And we'd had a competition that we were involved in, a country singing competition, and we were awarded, we won first place, which had a recording contract attached to it. So we were going to be going out to Nashville for that. And we thought, well, if we're going to go out to Nashville already, we might as well stop by Branson and see what it's all mm-hmm. about. But we still didn't know anyone in Branson, so we started to try to call around to the theaters and different things, and every theater owner we talked to, every show producer, they were like, no, we're not interested in another act to be in our theater or anything like that. So we thought, well, at least we can go and just see what it's about. But then in the meantime, we had produced a promo video, and our vocal coach at the time had passed that video promo on to a guy that was he was one of the producers of the Children's Miracle Network, and just so he could give us some critiques and some input on how we could make our promo video better. And so when he watched our video, one of his comments was, "You guys should be in Branson," which we'd heard
a lot of people telling you
yeah,
this.
a lot of
Yes.
people telling us that. You would be perfect in Branson. And we're like, yeah, well, people keep on telling us that, but we tried to get in touch with people there, but nobody cares who we are there. And so he said, yeah, well, actually, I have a bunch of connections there in Branson, and particularly Silver Dollar City. And he said, yeah, I would love to pass this promo video on to them if you don't mind. We're like, sure, well, that'd be great.
There you go.
And so when Silver Dollar City, when some of their producers saw the video, they gave us a call and said, hey, yeah, we'd like to hire you for an audition, which we were unfamiliar with.
That's interesting. Yeah.
That people get hired for auditions, but basically the way they would do it is they had us there for a week in August when a lot of the other entertainers were taking a week off. And so we did our show, and then out at Silver Dollar City, they're really great at taking all sorts of surveys and different things. And they surveyed their audiences, and I guess we got really high marks on their surveys. And so at the end of the week, they offered us a contract to come back for the next summer.
Oh, wow.
And do the shows. At that time, well, great, that'll be really awesome. We can go to Branson, and surely after a summer performing there, they're going to think that we're just awesome, and they'll hire us for the next year or continue to just have us there from then on. But we did this summer contract, and at the end of the summer, they were like, no, that was all we needed you for. Because really their purpose in hiring us is they wanted to hire a young, hip act for the summer.
Okay.
And so for the rest of the year, they didn't really want that.
Okay.
So,
Well, it makes sense.
yeah, it does. But at the time, we were like, what? And,
So what happened after that then?
well, Merrill Osmond had come out to the city, and he saw us out there. And at the time, Wayne Osmond had a brain tumor. And so he had to step out of their show for surgery and all of that stuff. And then also they had the Osmond second generation in their show. And they had some movie filming, something or other that they were doing. And so they had a big chunk of their show that was missing. And so, Merrill asked us if we would come down and open their show. And so we did. We came down and opened their show. And for about 3 or 4 days, we were doing the first 15 minutes of their show, that the curtain would open and we'd say, hi, we're the Osmonds. Mm-hmm. And then you'd hear the audience go, oh, what? and then, of course, when the Osmonds would actually hit the stage, they would say, hi, we're the Hughes brothers. And then the audience would laugh.
Yeah.
Then they got the joke. But so, yeah, we opened for the Osmonds for a bit. And I remember Merrill came back, and after, it was probably about three or four shows, we'd done our opening, and then he came to us halfway through the first half and said, "Hey, if you guys were to open the second half of the show, what would you do?" And I said, "Well, we could do this and this and this." And he says, "Well, do you have those tracks?" "Sure." He goes, "Good. Then you're opening the second half." And that was like that day. He said,
Oh my gosh.
Go give the sound man the tracks." We're like, "Okay."
Wow.
So yeah.
So that kind of, between Silver Dollar City and that kind of launched your Branson career. And you guys, how long have you guys been here now? It's been a long time.
This is our 28th season.
28th season, folks. That is a long, long time. Okay, we're going to stop here. We'll be back in just a second with more with Jason Hughes. Hang tight. Hey folks, welcome back to Play Branson. Today on the show we have Jason Hughes, and in the last episode he was just talking a little bit about the history of the show and of the brothers. And you guys have been at your existing theater now for over 20 years, maybe about 22 years.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of history.
No, it is. And it was quite a journey to get there to that theater, but and the theater was one of the first theaters in theaters that was brick and mortar with actual theater seats in Branson. Yeah. And it was the theater that Jim Thomas, the guy that built that theater, he had a vision of bringing in name acts from all over to Branson. Because Branson was doing really well, but all the shows were just kind of local shows and not the big name acts. And so he was bringing in people like Tanya Tucker, Roy Clark, the Mandrell sisters. We have all of these signatures in our green room wall, and the list is like 40 different acts.
So it became known as the Roy Clark Theater for a long time. And you guys eventually bought it. And so today, let's talk about the shows today, because you guys have 3 shows that your family, they're doing. And so let's talk about each of those and tell people what can you expect. And so let's do the Hughes Music Show, or the music, I guess you call it the Hughes Music Show. Right?
Yes.
Now let's talk about that one first.
Yeah. Well, the Hughes Music Show is kind of, we call it the big show because it has the entire family in the show, are the 5 or 4 original Hughes brothers and our wives and our children in the show. And we have lots of children at this point. Yes. My older brother Marty has 15 children. I have 11. Brother Ryan has 7 children, and Andy has 4. And not all of them are in the show, but most of them are. Yeah. And so it's there's about 40 family members in the show, and it's these children. I say children, but my oldest son is, I think he's 26 now, so they're not really children, right. but we do have little ones also. But they've grown up in the theater and doing shows, and they've also had incredible training from other artists in Branson that are just incredible. And so their experience, think about when you're 14 years old and you have 14 years of experience on stage.
And so this show has got a lot going on. So there are big production numbers.
Huge production numbers, incredible costume, lighting, sound, the video stuff going on. The choreography is just... it's one thing about our shows that I think is kind of... I think our choreography is... I don't want to sound conceited, but
right? Yes.
Well, I do a lot of the choreography. Yeah. I'm more of the executive producer, and I do a lot of the choreography, but our kids have gotten a lot more involved with the choreography, and our wives are really wonderful choreographers also, and the choreography that we do is just innovative and cool. It's really up to date. It's just not the typical thing that you're gonna see, and so it's really awesome.
So you guys have been kind of got this term as the world's largest performing family.
Yeah.
And I don't think very many people can compete with that, because you do have a lot of folks on stage. But I think that's what makes it really neat, is like you guys come together as a family. You're doing this as a family. I do want to shift to the Hughes Brothers Country Music Show.
Absolutely.
That's kind of back to your roots.
Yeah. Well, when we first came to Branson, that's what we were doing. We were doing a country show, and the brothers, we've always been known as probably the thing that we're most well known for is our harmony, the brotherly, our sound, but we also goof around a lot. We'd love to tease each other a lot on stage, and
you were quite the comedian.
And we just have a ton of fun with that, and we love messing with the audience also, and of course our show is also fairly choreographed and staging. So I was a music dance theater major, and my brother Marty also was a music major in sound recording and stuff, and another brother Adam was a film major, and so anyhow our experience with a lot of that just gives us a different perspective on how to produce a show. It's not just a band standing there singing. There's just tons of elements to it. And of course, in the country show, we do a large variety of different country music, but we kind of mainly concentrate on kind of the 90s, 80s, 90s country, and also Old West. So we do a lot of the Sons of Pioneers, Marty Robbins, those kinds of tunes also.
So the next show you have is called Revive. And this is what we call the next generation, or the younger generation primarily.
Yes.
And so this is a new show. Maybe somebody hasn't heard about it. Maybe you haven't been to Branson for a couple of years because of COVID. So talk about this new show besides your country show, because that's kind of new too. But
oh yeah,
let's talk about Revive.
Well, and
as well.
The Revive was kind of born out of the fact that we have so much talent in the family that it's like impossible to showcase all of the things that they can do in the music show. This 2-hour show is really hard to fit all of that. I always say I feel like as a producer, I feel like a ninja with 100 weapons and not sure which one to throw at the audience. Yeah. But the kids basically have produced this show, and we've helped guide what they're doing, but they've made the decisions on what they want to do, and it's basically 14 of our kids from I think 24 is the oldest and 14 is the youngest, and this show is just dynamic and there's not another show in Branson that has the kind of energy that these kids are putting out. It's just, flying off the stage, and the choreography again is the choreography for that show. There just is nothing to compare to.
So besides singing, besides dancing, you guys have you have people in your family playing instruments, right? Like you encompass the whole spectrum of entertainment when you do this.
Yeah, if it has anything to do with live entertainment, we incorporate it. We don't juggle, and we're not a magic show, but
you do have a magic show now at the theater.
That's right.
You gotta fit that in real quick.
Fit that in, right?
So talk about that.
Yeah,
too.
This year we have Escape from Branson. Escape from Branson. Is that a Freudian slip? No, no. Escape from reality.
Reality.
And Gary Carson and his beautiful wife Jeannie, they are just an incredible duo. and wonderful magicians. And their show has had rave reviews, already received numerous awards in Branson. And this will be their third year in Branson, but their first year in our theater, which will be, our theater will be a nice step up from where they were before, as far as, capacity and things. So their show opens here pretty quickly. So we're super excited to have them in the theater.
So tell people where your theater is. And
well, our theater is right next door to the most important building in Branson, Andy's Custard.
So they're out there on West
That's
Highway
right.
76.
Yes.
And it's a staple out in that area. And so lots of theaters in that area. One other show that we don't have time to talk about is your Christmas show.
Oh, yeah.
People love this Christmas show. It's one of the most recognized Christmas shows in Branson. Christmas all year long. So if you're watching this in the spring, come back for the Hughes family, their Christmas show as well. So folks, we have the Hughes Music Show. We have the Hughes Brothers Country Show. We have Revive. And then we have their Christmas show and then the Magic Show all over at the Hughes Brothers Theater. So folks, go check it out. We'll be back in just a moment to wrap up the show.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome to the end of Play Branson. We appreciate you guys watching the show. We're wrapping it up. I want to thank Jason Hughes for being on the show today. If you haven't seen any of their shows, I would highly encourage you to go check out the world's largest performing family. They've been doing it for decades. They've honed their craft down. They can sing, they can dance, they can play instruments. They're so talented, a very talented family. We just appreciate Jason being on the show today. He is, you'll find when you see him on the show, he's kind of a funny comedian actually on the show, but he is their director. He does a lot of the choreography on the show. And so you'll want to be sure to go check their shows out, and lots of different schedules for the different shows. So combined, they're doing about 9 shows a week among all the 3 shows. Sometimes that will vary, but most of the time is you got about 4 days for the Hughes Music Show. You got 2 shows for the Hughes Brothers Country Show, which, by the way, you can get a barbecue meal with that. And then Revive is typically about 3 times a week as well. So if you're needing help planning your vacation, you're like, when are all the shows playing? Be sure to go to iBranson.com. You can see all the show schedules there. You can see the attractions in town. You can book it all online. And so you'll want to be sure to go check out iBranson.com or call them at 877-ENTERTAIN. Next week's artist is Santino Tomasetti. First time he's been on the show, young entertainer here in Branson. You're going to want to learn more about him. And he's got some new music coming out, and he'll be telling you about that here on the next show. Upcoming events, we have Branson Praise Fest going on over at the Mansion Theater. That's become a really popular event. Lots of gospel music, Southern gospel music. They're doing a couple different sessions, March 14th through the 16th and the 17th through the 19th. Mark Lowry will also be in town during that time frame. And then there's also an event called Choir on Fire during that time frame. So you'll want to be sure and check that out. Be sure to like us on Facebook or YouTube. Check out episodes. We try to launch an episode every week throughout the rest of the season. And if you have an entertainer that you would like to see, go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Play Branson and let us know, and we'll do our best to get them on a future episode. Sometimes it takes us a really long time to get an entertainer on, but we do our best based on your request. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week on Play Branson.